Hey everybody, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at my 139th Master Grade, the High-Nu Gundam Verka Heavy Weapon System. I'm counting this as one kit, even though it's kind of two. The original High-Nu Verka was a standard release. The Heavy Weapon System is a P-Bandai Webshop only add-on. I'm counting it as two kits because if you have the Heavy Weapon System by itself, it's pretty useless without the High-Nu. Now, starting off in a move that should shock no one, this is heavily based off the new Gundam Verka. Torso is pretty much identical, minus the lack of psycho frame and a color swap. But the shoulders still work the same, everything kind of works. The parts for the psycho frame still move out, but there's a reason for that. I'll talk about that later. Get all together, the head is too small for this kit. It just is. The torso is so big and huge, and the shoulders so big and huge, and the head is really, really tiny. So you get virtually no movement, left, right, up, down. It barely moves at all. It does look good. I think the reason they did this is to kind of give a more linebacker look. Tiny head, big body, big shoulders, that look, big bruiser, which it does pull off. But if you want any, movement out of the head, no. It's looking forward, and that's about it. Shoulders and arms. Shoulders are just High-Nu Gundam repaint. The arms are different. 3.1 hands articulated, kind of like the real grade style. On the right arm, a machine gun will pop out. I painted that machine gun barrel silver, otherwise it comes all white. Don't know why, I just felt like it. This is the only thing on this kit I have painted. So from this point forward, there is no paint. On the left arm, there is a beam saber. Now a little latch opens up, which will pop off a lot, and it's aggravating, but you can put it right back on. And it doesn't want to close all the way. But you can put the beam saber blade in there, or you can just take the blade or the handle out if you want. Legs, big, bulky, and gigantic. The frame is pretty much carbon copy new Gundam, but the rest is, the armor on the outside is brand new. I would like to point out, as you look at this, you'll say, oh, it's very blue. In person, it looks a lot more purple. I think a heavy spotlight on it kind of changes the hue a little bit. It looks a little more blue. But no, this is much more purple. The original High-Nu, not Verka, that's a light blue. This is much more purple. Now, this leg is a pain in the butt to put together because of all the sliding pieces and latches and whatnot. You see there's boosters underneath and things move out and it does look kind of cool, but getting everything to line up on these legs is a royal pain in the butt. But it can be done. And here you go, all put together, like I said, linebacker look. Big chest, big body, big legs, tiny little head. But it does look good, and right now it is perfectly balanced and stable, and this is the last time that will happen. Poseability, because of the giant back skirt armor and the fact the knees don't move that much, you aren't going to be doing much. But like I said, the balance on this kit isn't great anyways, once we start adding stuff, so you're not going to be doing a whole lot of posing with this kit. Decal them up. Lots and lots of decals. This is a Verka kit, so lots of decals. I don't know if I got a bad batch. I don't know if it's just because it was really cold and my heater was working overtime. But I had to use so much bonder to keep these things in place. They were peeling off left, right, and center, and they were driving me nuts. Get them all on there eventually, and it does look a lot better with the decals. This kit is very white, and decals help. So you got a clear stand back there that acts as a tripod. Once this backpack on, he becomes very top-heavy, back or forward. Now this piece of the tripod can also be used with this. This is the exact same thing as the new Gundam action stand. Got the Amuro A and all the pieces, so you can have this thing airborne if you want. With the heavy weapon system, you can't. So I'm going to keep them on the ground and use the tripod. But you need that tripod piece either way. Beam rifle, very nice beam rifle. Solid. Beams, the beam shield, not a beam shield, the shield. I thought this would be the same as the new Gundam. Nope, it's a different shield, slightly. And a bazooka, which will collapse. There we go, as so. It's a tight fit, but it will collapse in there. Move the handle up, and there you go. Give you two beam saber blades, both blue, two handles, technically three because there's one in the forearm. But they got the blue blade right, and I like the blue blades. The handles can be stored in these binders on the back. Little latch opens up and pop them in there. You will need a pair of tweezers to put them in and get them out. Holding the shield is no problem. It doesn't weigh anything. There's a little plug that plugs right on the forearm, as so, and it can twist and move and do different things. The gun, same deal. Doesn't weigh anything. No problem holding it. You can have that held out if you want. The arm is plenty strong enough, but like I said, legs are firmly planted on the ground at all times. Now, here's where things get a little weird. We have the funnels, 6 of them, all white. This is pretty much the same thing as the new Gundam, minus the teeth that connect everything. They aren't required this time. Now, on the new Gundam Verkad has the fade. For those who don't know what that means, it means that there is no solid stop from white to blue. It fades in and fades out. They do this with water slides. Lots of them, and they're all big. Yep. You can see everything I've cut out already. Those are the water slides I put on the main kit as it is. Now, you put this decal on one piece at a time. Biggest piece, in my opinion, should go first. There you go. And seeing the fade as it goes in and out of the white to blue. Then you got to add that little decal at the front, another medium-sized decal behind it, and then this big one at the end. There's a piece that's supposed to wrap over the flap. I suggest you just cut that off. It's more trouble than it's worth. And there you go. That's what you got to do. Now you got to do it 11 more times. 6 funnels, 2 sides each. And there you go. This took me a couple of days to do, and it's aggravating. But at the end, it does look very nice. If you look and see, there are tiny imperfections. I did have a couple of tiny flakes come off here and there. I'm not going to point out where they were. There's little air bubbles. I mean, you can do this until the cows come home. You'll never get it 100% perfect. And once you hook them in, looks really good. Like I said, this is where you really need that tripod. Now, they all can be, spread out and look more like a wing, or they all be facing back. You can have it any way you like it, but this thing does look like a fortress. Now, heavy weapons system. This basically consists of a add-on for the front skirt rather. And on that front skirt, these arms with beam sabers on them, so it can act like the O's. It has an extra pair of arms with beam sabers. It has these pieces for the leg, if I don't drop them, that hook right in here. And it has this piece here for the chest, which has some missile launchers on the top, and you open up a latch, there's more missiles underneath. There you go. You get another beam rifle, which is the exact same beam rifle, no change whatsoever, but we have some add-ons to make it this big old... Yeah! That's a big gun. Anyway, this behemoth has these little tripods or these little stands on the front, which do not move. Which is kind of a bummer. I'd like to have it in like tripod form, but whatever. You can see it's a lot bigger now. It's almost as big as the Gundam. And you also have this thing, which is a shield booster backpack thing, which is bigger than the Gundam. It's huge. And they give you this, which is another shield. Here's a kicker. They do not give you a couple parts you need. The attachment here on the back of the shield that hooks into the arm, they do not give you another one. So you will need to take that out of the old... I knew. Plus, you'll need a poly cap in there. They don't give you that either. Kind of sly, not giving you every little piece you need, but whatever. And they give you another bazooka. This is the exact same bazooka you got with the kit. Just another one. Now, the big shield can be hooked on the smaller shield and hook it all together. And yes, it will hold this thing. That big shield is not as heavy as it looks. Those big thrusters on the bottom are hollow. All the plastic's pretty light. It'll hold it up just fine. But here's the kicker. You're about to lather that shield in a huge amount of decals. So if you want to have that shield shown, you better use the other option, which I'll show you in a bit. Now, you take off the front skirt armor, lift up this little latch, and opens up this port. It will then hook into this thing, as so. And then it'll just go right on the front skirt armor again. You can see that, the sides, the skirt armor peeking through on the sides. But overall, the front skirt armor looks better now. That big front skirt armor to match the big back skirt armor. And you got a big giant decal on there as well. Now, these little latches where the Psycho frame used to be, pull them out, and it'll leave a spot for this. Slides in, and there's two little latches on the inside that hook in behind those front vents on the chest. Hooks in just fine, no problem. On the legs, these pieces slide to the side, which was so difficult to build earlier, and allows these to hook in, again with giant decals on the side. 0-1 heavy weapon system, as if they were going to make another. But whatever. But lots of decals, big giant ones, and these aren't even the biggest ones. Because this mamma jamma, this thing is covered in, I think, about a dozen giant decals. And boy, was this difficult. I had overlapping, I had decals that were fighting me. I'm shocked I got this done. This was so difficult. There were slight tears, and it was so difficult to get there, but it eventually worked. There's a little latch on the back of the gun will hook into the arm. So it will actually hold this thing up for a little while. You see, it's off the ground. The Gundam is actually holding this monster. But over time, it will slowly go back down. But it is holding it. Now, the shield backpack thingy, you took the two bazookas you have, and you hook them into the backpack thingy. Then you remove this little blue piece off this middle binder. And it will hook right in. And you can see now this backpack is over-the-top madness. You got binders, funnels, propellant tanks, bazookas, wings, shields. There's so much stuff. Heavy weapon system indeed. Now this thing is a brick. Or maybe better, as a better analogy would be a Fabergé egg. You're almost afraid to move this thing. Final thoughts on this kit. I went back and forth on what to give this kit, but I'm going to give it a thumbs up, but just barely. This kit is a brick, or like I said, maybe a Fabergé egg. It looks beautiful. It's got a great look. It looks amazing. All the stuff going on, the shields and the guns and the bazookas, and it's just amazing. You will not move this thing. You will never move this thing. You're afraid to move this thing. You're afraid to pick it up, tilt it, or do anything because you're afraid something's going to fall, something's going to fall off, a decal is going to move. There's just so much stuff that can go wrong with this kit when you just want to move something. You're afraid to move the arm, for Pete's sakes. But if it's sitting there, you're admiring on the shelf, it looks amazing. This is really an amazing looking kit. I mean, this challenges Sazabi for best looking master grade of all time. But you can move Sazabi. You can't move this thing. It just sits there and looks cool. It's a brick or a Fabergé egg. But I'll give it a thumbs up for the looks. But just barely. If you don't like doing water slides, avoid this like the plague. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I held a poll for this one. You guys picked this kit. This is the one you want to see reviewed. Here you go. Hi-Nu Verka Heavy Weapon System. Let me know what you think. I love reading those comments. I love it when you say you like my videos and whatnot. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and one more thing. Well, glad that's over. At least I won't have to do any over-the-top, crazy plastic-on-plastic stacking monster kits anytime soon. What? What do you mean, Deep Striker?